No product is ever perfect, but some products are brilliant enough that when you put them in a certain context, they seem perfect. And that is the story for the Sony A7S III, a mirrorless camera revered and appreciated by every creator and YouTuber. And this is our 1 year later review of it. Starting with the basics, the A7S III gets the design absolutely spot on with its ergonomics. This has always been Sony's design language, a straight-edged body with a curvy leathery textured grip. This camera also came with a fully articulating screen, much to the celebration of most individual creators. All of the dials, knobs, custom buttons are easily accessible and become intuitive given time. The right side houses the dual card slots which accept both CF Express A cards and SD cards as well. The left side has flaps covering the USB-C port, the mic jack, the headphone jack for audio monitoring, and a full-size HDMI port for external recording and connection to bigger monitors. The USB-C port can be used for both data transfer and charging the camera as well. Coming to the sensor up front, it is a 12-megapixel full-frame sensor, and this sensor has aged well. The camera can record 4K full-frame 10-bit footage at a frame rate of up to 120 FPS. This is made possible by the small megapixel count, as it results in less work for the image processor, which further helps in preventing the camera from heating up. As a result, the camera has never overheated no matter how long we continue to record 4K 120 FPS footage out of it. The camera also offers up to 13 stops of dynamic range, meaning more detailed highlights and shadows when the user edits the footage. And 13 stops is pretty much equal to what super expensive cinema cameras offer. This comes in especially helpful when the user is color grading footage recorded in S-Log2 or S-Log3 picture profiles. With better dynamic range, the user can manipulate the light much more independently, and the 10-bit format helps them in easily grading the footage in the colors that suit their creativity. However, the users who want to use the footage straight out of the camera without needing to grade it are safe with the A7S III. One of the major improvements brought to all Sony cameras with this one is better color science. Recording footage in the S-Cinetone picture profile brings amazing cinematic colors to the footage being recorded. The colors have been brought over from the premium top-of-the-line Venice cinema cameras from Sony. Priced above $40,000. When it comes to stabilization, the A7S III does not lack there too. The in-body image stabilization works well, enough to make this an ideal run and gun camera. And Sony's autofocus still remains top of the line, making this camera an absolute pleasure to use for individual creators. And another great thing enabled by 12 megapixels is great low light performance. With minimal light, the camera shines with the footage that it can record in low light situations. But what lacks with a low megapixel count is photography, as it needs higher megapixel counts for better sharpness. And in that regard, for the most part, unless one pixel peeps, the differences found by most people between photos from this camera and some other camera with a higher megapixel count are minimal. Coming back to the line we started this segment with, the Sony A7S III is not a perfect camera. Mostly because of the fact that the pictures are only good enough and a bit far from perfect. But then this camera was never meant to be the perfect do-it-all camera. It was always meant to be the perfect mirrorless camera for videos. And when that is added as the context, the Sony A7S III makes a big case for perfection. And that comes at a premium price of Rs 3,34,990. Even a year later, this is an easy recommendation for creators, individual filmmakers, YouTubers who want a big upgrade when it comes to their camera, even at that price.